Hello and welcome. Namaste everybody. Namaste Dr. Akhilesh Bhaiya. Namaste
नमस्ते भैया।
Didi. Welcome.
नमस्ते भैया, सभी को नमस्ते।
नमस्ते दीदी।
डॉक्टर अखिलेश जी को भी नमस्ते।
नमस्ते दीदी।
आज का प्रोग्राम डॉक्टर अखिलेश शुक्ला जी के साथ है।
जी जी
जी
Akhilesh
भैया।
Bhaiya, what we are going to discuss today?
We will discuss about the ancient dietetics and its relevance in present era.
Oh, wonderful. Ji, Manova Didi, please.
Pardon, Dr. Sahab, it is
Ancient dietetics and its relevance in present era.
Okay, thank you. Very relevant.
Shall we start?
The attendees, and may I first offer any questions from attendees here? Mrs. Brinda ji, you have unmuted your mic. You have some question? Miss Brinda ji, you want to ask something? Want to say something?
I think there is some network issue there, Binda ma'am.
It's there.
Yeah, we will connect to him later. Yes.
Yes. Let Dr.
Invite Dr.
Will mute. Madan. Okay. Yes, please, Dr. Sahab.
जी
Please,
जी
waiting for you to start the today's session now.
Yeah. Hope the PPT is visible to you all.
Yes, Bhaiya. Relevance of ancient dietetics in present era.
Yeah. So once again, welcome to you all. And it's a great pleasure for me to meet you all every time in this week session. So first of all, before starting the topic, I would like to bring your attention on two important points. One important point is to look into the diet, what our ancestors used to have, and the kind of dietary habits we are following. That means the kind of diet your grandfather, grandparents, they used to have, and now the kind of diet we are taking. Second important thing is, with the change of this dietary pattern, whether we are becoming more and more healthy, or whether the problems because of the wrong dietary habits are goes on increasing. So if you see the prevalence of diseases, you will find that we are suffering more because of our improper food habits. And WHO, World Health Organization, it says that 60% of the person's health depends upon the kind of food he consumes. And at present, you will find that the problem because of the overeating or because of the improper eating, that is very high compared to the kind of problem which we used to have in previous decades, where the problems because of the malnutrition or the lack of nutrition were high. But at present, the problems because of the overnutrition or the improper way of eating, that has become the one of the very potent cause of all the kinds of diseases we are suffering. You may take it as diabetes or obesity or the cardiovascular diseases. All these problems are basically related with the food habits. So we will see in this session about the ancient food pattern and how it is more relevant at present era. So the Linus Pauling, he received 2 unshared Nobel Prizes, and he quoted that the optimum nutrition is the medicine of tomorrow. So that means caring for the food that will keep you safe and free from diseases. So that has even greater importance than your medicine, the food. And every living creature in this world, they need food for their survival, whether it is plants or whether insects, animals or human being, they all need food for their survival. And it is the food which provides us good strength, intellect, complexion, everything, the contentment, and our life itself is depends upon the food. On the other aspect, if you find that our health and the disease both are very closely connected with the kind of food what we consume. Even the ancient Ayurveda text, they have mentioned that ahar sambhavam vastu rogascha ahar sambhava. That means this body, the healthy state of body is depend upon the food, and even the diseases are also because of the food. So that means the improper way of consuming food is becoming cause for all the kinds of diseases we suffer from, and the healthy way of eating, that is maintaining our health. And because of this, there are, you will find, if you see to the magazines or the newspaper or the other health related books, so you'll find that one day you will see that they will mention that something was good for your health, and another day they will criticize that this is not good for your health. Like one day you will find that there is an article in the newspaper where they will mention that the tea is good for health or the coffee is good for health. Another day they will you will find the controversial article where they will mention that the tea is bad for your health. One day you will find that there is consuming lot of water is very good for your health. And another day you will find that consuming excess amount of water is hazardous for our health. So like this, there are a lot of controversies, what to consume and what not to consume. So in this kind of picture, we can go to our ancient roots, because they have a quite longer experiences of how, what to eat, what not to eat, what is the right quantity, in which season what to eat. So all these kinds of experiences and experience based the traditional food pattern, here we can get the authentic information which we can follow, because this pattern has kept our ancestors healthy, free from diseases. So there is again continuous demand from all over the world that they want to know about the right way of consuming food. So Ayurveda has a greater role here to say that what to eat, what not to eat, and what exactly is good for our health. And this way we can prevent from many of the lifestyle related disorders, which are major cause of death and disability worldwide. So when food is taken judiciously and according to the codes of dietetics, then only the benefits of food can be achieved. So when you take food properly, following the proper rules and regulations, then only you can achieve its proper health. Otherwise, it is not that you pay very high amount and you take a very what food which is available and you think that this will bring you health. So it may not be possible. But if you follow the traditional dietary pattern definitely has a lot of benefits. One important thing is about the take control of your food. So when I say about the control of your food, so I'm telling about it from its origin and to it reaches to your plate. So the whole system that should be in your control. Not only the food is cooked and came in front of you, now you have to decide what to take, what not to take. So that is not the complete control on your food. How the grains are cultivated, from where these vegetables are cultivated, how it is cooked, what are the process it underwent. Every process, if you have proper control, then only you can maintain your good health. Otherwise, if I say that this food item is good for you, and if you go and buy, and whether that if vegetable or grain grown pouring a lot of pesticides or fertilizers, it may not give you proper health. So, audible here?
Yes, Bhaiya, but we
Hello.
disturb.
Oh, okay. Just saw the message that internet is little. Yeah. So, like, we have the concept of family physician. Similarly, we can have the concept of family farmers, because it is not possible for everyone who is living in urban area to grow their own food. But like they have the family physician, they can have the family farmer. They will be directly in contact with the farmers and know how my grains or how my vegetables are grown, and in this way receive the best raw materials for their consumption. So that way you can have the complete control on your food. One important thing is you never suppress your when you are hungry, you understand your bodily need and consume food. Don't just go with the tea, coffee, drinks and continue working and skip your meals. So this is not the way we should have food. We should understand that the body needs some energy and we should take food in proper time, especially when we are hungry.
Bhaiya, sorry
Again,
for
when
at times your voice is breaking. At times it is quite audible, but at times it is breaking.
okay. So please inform if anything is not clear, madam. So
Ji
I will
Bhaiya. Okay.
yeah. I will continue. So the next important thing is take water when you are thirsty. So when we are thirsty, again, the important thing is the thirst should not be compensated by the food, and the food should not be compensated by some drinks. So when we are thirsty, we have to take drinks, and when we are hungry, we have to take food. So this way we have to understand the bodily need and give the proper thing what our body needs, and that way we can maintain the health. Then consuming too large quantity of food or consuming very less quantity of food, this both should be avoided. So the question comes how to understand what is the right quantity of food for me, because it is different for everyone. It is not the same, or I cannot say that this much calorie is this much calorie food should be consumed by this age group. So that will not solve the things. So we have to understand individual need, what he need for to maintain his health. So to understand the proper quantity of food, there are certain guidelines The first one is, when you take lunch, it should be properly digested at the time of dinner. So like if you take, suppose you have taken breakfast, so at the time of lunch, you should feel hungry. So it means that the previously taken food is properly digested. So if you are not feeling hungry, it means the breakfast was a bit heavy for you and it is still not properly digested. This is one guideline. So that means the morning food should be get digested well at the evening, and evening food should get digested well at the morning. So that way you can understand what is right quantity of food for you. Second important thing which is told is, you have to divide your stomach capacity in 3 equal parts. And in this one part, like if you make it 100%, so 33% of your stomach capacity should be filled with the solid food items. The next 33% is for the liquid, and another 33% should be left empty. So that means if you are feeling satisfactory with the 6 chapatis, then you have to limit it to the 3 or maximum to the 4. Don't go beyond that. Leave one part of your stomach always empty. Don't eat up to your satisfaction. And the third important thing in this is, you have to take food according to your involvement in physical activities. Suppose you are involved in lot of exercises, lot of physical activities, so actually your need for food is also more. But suppose your work is sedentary, you have sitting job, you are not physically active enough, so that time your need for food is also less. So that way you have to decide. If you are very much active, you are involved in lot of sportive activities, then even if you take up to satisfaction, it will not cause any difficulty for you. The food will get digested well and it will be utilized by your body. But suppose if you are not active enough, and if you are consuming very high calorie diet, very energy dense food, so that food will not get digested and it will create a lot of metabolic disturbances. So these are the certain guidelines which you can follow, and by that you can decide what is the right quantity of food for me. Again, consuming very less amount of food, that will make you weak. And again, if you are continuing such kind of food pattern, your immune system will also get compromised, because ultimately everything in your body is get nourished by the food what you consume. So too less amount of food will again become cause for a lot of health issues, and too large amount of food, that will also become cause for a lot of health hazards. So you have to decide the quantity of right quantity of food what you need. The next important thing is, whenever we are eating, we have to take our food with pleasant state of mind. Suppose you know the quantity of food and you have complete control over your food. You have selected the best grains. It is cooked very properly. The most wholesome food is there in your plate. But suppose you are excessively worried, or you are in anger, or you are deeply thinking about some other aspects. So chinta, shok, bhaya, krodha, you are in fearful state. If in such mental state, if you consume even the right quantity of food and even the most wholesome food, that will also not give you proper nourishment. So it is very important that if you are in a unpleasant state, or you are in the state of anger, or in some kind of worries, so it is better to avoid meal for some time, and then when you are a bit balanced, or when the period has gone, then you can have food. But don't eat when you are very much angry, very much worried. because in this state of mind, if you consume food, it will not get digested properly. So consuming food is like a meditation. So you should completely meditate on what you are eating, and you enjoy each morsel of your food. Some about food is the kind of vessel we use for storing or cooking of our food. So use of aluminum vessel is very, very harmful for our health. And there are scientific studies which says that use of aluminum vessels continuously, that is cause for the neurodegenerative disorders. So they will kill our neuron because the aluminum is neurotoxic, and they will kill our neuron. That will become cause for several problems like the memory loss, Alzheimer disease, which the prevalence of which is rapidly increasing in India. So actually the aluminum was brought to India by Britishers. It is not developed here. And the ancient metals which we used to have is the iron or the bronze, the petal, so brass made vessels. So these metals we used to have, or even the mud vessels, which is very safe. And you can even go for the steel vessels, and steel made pressure cooker, steel made boxes that are available that you can use, but please avoid using aluminum vessels. Lot of scientific studies are there, you can just see. And aluminum vessel is used in India, but many other countries, they have already banned it. Even the non-stick cookware, they are made up of aluminum and they have this Teflon coating above. So this is again very harmful, and many of the countries, they have already banned it, but it is still very highly used in India, and that is one of the cause of increasing incidence of neurodegenerative disorders in India. So using earthen vessels, it may not be possible for everyone, so they can go for the safer metal, and they can go for the steel made pressure cooker, steel made frying pan, everything is available, and it's not very costly also. And if you have possibility to have this mud vessel, that is very, very good, and it will maintain all the nutrients of your food. It will cook food very slowly, and the food is very nutritious if it is cooked in mud vessels. There are studies also which say that the 100% of nutrients are intact when we cook the food in mud vessel. But when we are cooking the food in a pressure cooker with high temperature, so that becomes soft, but most of the nutrients are lost. Then the use of microwave. So now every kitchen, modern kitchen, they want to have microwave, but it is very, very harmful for our health. Russia is the country who developed this microwave, and in the beginning they popularized it. But Russia is the first country who started ban on the microwave. They found that a lot of health issues related with the microwave cooking, and some of the death they reported because of the microwave cooking. So they came out with a lot of data, research data, that how this microwave cooking is harmful. But what happened at that time, it was already spread to many parts of the world, and it was popularized by many of the companies, and it reached to many of the kitchens. And now in India also, many of the modern kitchens, they have this microwave. The one important thing about the microwave is it will not cook food evenly. So like outside, the food becomes soft because it distorts the food. The food becomes soft, but actually its nutrients are lost. And in inner aspect of the, like if you are cooking meat, the outside of the meat will be cooked, but inside it will not penetrate, and the inside it will be still uncooked. that will become the cause for the growth of the bacteria or other metabolic issues. It will not get digested properly. So that all problems are associated with microwave cooking. So it is better to go for the traditional way of cooking. So the use of a refrigerator is again, so using a refrigerator for keeping raw vegetables, milk, and some other items is fine. That because you need uh, little fresh vegetables, so you are storing in the fridge. But storing the cooked food in the fridge and reheating and consuming it, it is extremely harmful. So I have even seen some of the families. I studied in Bangalore and I saw some of the family and some of the working professionals. They Saturday and Sunday, they will cook food, especially the sambar, rasam, or the vegetable. They will cook and they will keep for the whole week. And every day they will take out the vegetable, the half cooked vegetable and sambar rasam. They will heat it and they will just cook the rice and they consume it. So for the whole week, they are using the same stored food. So such a way of consuming is very harmful. So it is good to keep some raw vegetables, etc., but not to keep the cooked food in the fridge. Then it is always good to have freshly prepared warm food. When I say freshly prepared warm food, I mean that the food should be consumed within 1 hour of its preparation. So it will be warm and it will be delicious. If it is kept reheated, one thing, it becomes very heavy for the digestion. Nutrients are further lost and it will not be tasty as the fresh food is tasty. It will not be tasty in the same way. So it is recommended that when that your food timing is there, that time you prepare the fresh and warm food only you take. Don't keep the food and reheat and take it again. The ancient texts, they say that bhojanam punaha ushnikritam tejet. So bhojanam punaha ushnikritam tejet means the food which is reheated should be discarded, should not be consumed. So they are very much emphasizing on taking freshly prepared warm food only. That will be easy for digestion, that will give you proper nourishment. But reheating, it will just fill your stomach, most of the nutrients will be lost, and again such kind of food will not be easy for digestion also. Then eating out at restaurant. So actually in India, we had the culture of selling raw materials, raw grains and other things. But we don't, our culture, we don't have this selling of cooked food. It is all came later when our working culture and uh, the requirement changed. So we are now taking food outside, but the food which is prepared especially for the commercial mindset, that when someone is preparing food and in every step of preparation of food, starting from its procuring the raw material, etc., if he is always keeping in the mind that how much benefit I can gain out of this, so that food will definitely not be healthy for you, because it is prepared to get the economic benefit, not to provide you health or not to keep the society healthy. So most of the restaurant, they want to earn more and more money, and the kind of food what they are providing is very questionable. So in general, it is recommended that better to avoid restaurant food, outside food, and always have freshly prepared warm food at your home. But in situations where you cannot have homemade food, so when you are going out, always you select what is easily digestible and what you can think that it is more safe. with the available options. So that we can manage. Coming to the processed food. So the two important thing about the processed food is, one, it is very cheap. In the 5 rupees, you have the packet of chips or something. And the another important thing is it is very tasty. But these food items are not at all good. Suppose a chips packet, suppose if you in your home, if you are frying chips, can you consume the same chips after 6 months or 8 months or 1 year? Definitely you will not. But these food items which are prepared months ago, they are packed months ago, they are still consumed by our children or by ourselves also sometimes. So these food items are not at all good. And another important thing is they add a lot of chemicals, taste makers in that. So when they add this, it will create a kind of craving that even if you consume it up to full of your stomach, you will not feel very satisfied. And again you will crave for the same food, or because of its the taste which you are getting after this. So this food item is not at all good. And again, the same thing which I told, that it is prepared for the commercial gain, economic gain. So definitely they are not caring about your health. They are interested in making more and more money. So that food we have to especially avoid. And these food items are loaded with lot of sugars, lot of fat, and most of the nutrients they are taken out, and because they have to preserve it for the longer time, so they will take out all the nutrients and it will be just a deeply fried, and with some addition of some taste makers, it will be packed and it will be served. And there are studies which says that consuming of these fast food, packed food, they are cause for a lot of severe health issues like the colorectal cancer, kidney or stomach cancer, etc. Few points about the vegetarian diet. So there is several arguments that non-vegetarian is good because we in the vegetarian diet we do not get all the required nutrients what we need. But actually this is because the vegetarian diet is now very much limited to few items only. There are studies which says that the vegetarian diet of the 90% people of the world is limited to only 30 items. So most of the varieties we are not consuming, and that may be one of the reason why we do not get the enough nutrients through this vegetarian diet. But if you utilize the vegetarian diet with all its varieties, etc., you will not need any, like you will not be in need of any such animal this meat or etc. So vegetarian diet will fulfill all your requirements. And moreover, if you consider the physiology and anatomy of the human body, that also gives the idea that the human body is mainly supporting the vegetarian kind of food. The vegetarian food is most suitable for our digestive system, the length of digestive system, the kind of teeth structure we have, the kind of digestive juices we have. So that all gives the hints that our human body is mainly prepared for the vegetarian food, not for the non-vegetarian food. Some of the important guidelines from the WHO. The 5 keys of safer food manual. So the first thing is keep clean. Maintaining hygiene at every step of food consumption is very, very important, which is very difficult in the outside food or the restaurant culture food. Second thing is separating raw and cooked food. So many of the people I saw in the cities or even in the villages now, they have the idea that consuming raw food. So they will take this is sprouts, they will cut some of the salads, etc., and that they will keep and they will eat that sprouts or salads, etc., with the cooked rice or the cooked chapati and vegetable. So this uncooked and cooked food, when we are consuming together, it will become very difficult for our digestive system to digest it. So like the uncooked food, if you want to have some of the this radish, etc., gajar, these kind of things, so that we can consume separately, not mixing with our cooked food, rice, etc. So mixing both is not good for our health. It will create a lot of difficulties for digestive system to digest it. Then cook thoroughly. So whatever food we are consuming, it should be cooked properly. The fourth important thing is keep food at safer temperature. So we have to maintain the ideal temperature to keep our food. The fifth important thing is use safe water and raw material. So availability of the safe water is again a very big question, and a large population of the world, they do not have the proper safe water for their consumption. We have to develop such methods where we can have the safe water. And again, the raw material. So as I told that we can get the right raw material for our consumption only when we have direct connection with the cultivator or with the farmers. Otherwise, what is coming to you, you will not know how it is grown. Only by the outer look you will take the food, but the kind of fertilizer, the kind of pesticide which is poured on this while growing it, we will not know. So when I say all these several rules, regulations about the food, I don't mean that you have to take a very bland kind of diet or don't enjoy your food or just take khichdi kind of things. I don't mean that. I just mean that you can enjoy everything, all kind of, even the fried items, even the deep fried food, everything you can consume, all the masalas, everything. But the only thing is we have to keep in mind the quantity, the quality, and from where it came. If we have some control over it, then definitely we can enjoy all kinds of food items. And we have to make most of these items in our home, then only we can ensure the health part of it also. So another important thing what we discussed is when you have the safe material, you are able to get the most wholesome food for your health. Then the another important thing is the psychological state. Because when you are happy, your mental state is good, then only this healthy food is going to nourish you in a best way. If you are consuming the food in a stressful situation, this food will not give you proper health. So your psychological status while eating is as much important as the quality of your food. So these guidelines what we discussed, so it is all these guidelines are also well supported by the present scientific studies. And if we give little care about what we consume, so that way we can avoid most of the lifestyle disorders which are caused because of the improper consumption of the food or the food related health issues. So that way we can maintain our health in the best way. The ancient Ayurveda text Charak Samhita, they say that the person who is judiciously taking the wholesome diet, he will live for 36,000 nights without any disease. So it roughly means that 100 years of lifespan free from disease the person will get if he is consuming food in a proper way. So build healthy habits. Thank you so much. So if anyone is having any doubt or any query.
Bhaiya, one question was posted in chat.
जी जी जी.
We were talking about microwave.
Uh-huh.
And Antosh ji has asked the question that Bhaiya, can you guide us about induction cooktop based cooking?
Uh-huh. Actually, induction based cooking, I have not come across any scientific paper that whether it is good or whether it is bad like this. But microwave, definitely there are a lot of research papers available, especially these all are developed by the Russian scientists. And actually there are some incidences which happened. I will just narrate about this. I have no idea about like induction cooker. So I will get more information and I will share with you. But about this microwave, I will tell you that it happened in the Russia while blood transfusion. So if you have little idea that the blood is stored in a cold temperature, and when they when they transfuse it to the other person, they will make it slight warm. So what happened is they use the microwave to warm this blood. And what happened is when they transfused this blood, they checked all the group, everything, and it matched. And when they transfused it, the person died. So they started investigating that when everything was correct, why this person died. So they checked, they found out that the blood which was made warm, keeping in the microwave, actually the RBC cells, they were completely destroyed. So this microwave has such kind of effect on our food. It will distort the food, make it soft. And the another thing is it will not penetrate the deeper part of the food. So the inside it will be, suppose if you keep a potato, outside it will become soft, but the inside deep, it will be still raw. So if you are consuming that, this raw part will become difficult for digestion, and such a way uneven cooked food will become a fertile ground for growth of the bacteria, etc. So these modern kind of cooking have a lot of health problems also. So about this induction, I will try to get more information, because now it is also very much popularized. Even I have one induction, but I have not gone through in a detail how this is, whether this is really good for our health or not.
Ji Bhaiya. I think he must have got his answer, and rest you will be searching. You promised you will be taking it later. And one more question is there, Bhaiya, in chat.
Gigi.
And that has been put by Ms. Ji, and he's asking whether water fasting is good to our health, sir. Whether water fasting is good to our health.
Water fasting, good
Yes.
for health or not? That is.
Yes, that's the question.
Water fasting is good for our health. Yeah. So like the fasting, when we recommend in our Ayurveda, so we look for many of the things. So the giving water fasting, actually there are several types of fasting. Like one kind of fasting is when we give food itself in a little lesser quantity, some liquid items like the green gram soup or this kind of vegetable soup, and we ask the person to fast in this way. Fasting does not necessarily mean that complete avoidance of food, but it is giving rest to your digestive system. So when you are going for the water fasting, then the purpose of doing this water fasting, that we should know. Like why exactly you want to do the fasting, and especially the water fasting, whether someone recommended you or whether you are doing your own to give rest to your digestive system. So generally, if you are going for fasting, the water you can take only when you are thirsty. So if you feel thirsty, you can have water. There is no problem. But like how exactly you are doing it, and shall we regularize it at least 1 day per month? So yeah, you can give rest to your system. Actually, like the AICTE-SIP we have every 15 days. So that day we take food only in one time, and we usually just take water in the morning time. Like this, many of the people religiously they do. So that is also very good, because you are giving rest to your digestive system, and the digestive system will get enough time to repair itself. So that way you are helping your system, your body, to again uh, continue digest well the food which is which will be consumed, and that way you can support your whole system. And even this fasting is like recently one of the Nobel Prize which was given to the this fasting, because it doing a proper fasting which is also helping for your increasing lifespan. So it will reduce the all degenerative changes or the age related, the progressive age related changes. So these all are the benefits with the fasting. And about the water, like if you specify why exactly you take water and in what condition you are taking water, so that way I can answer you better.
Miss Brindaji, you can unmute yourself and then
Yeah, that will, it will be good. Like water fasting, what exactly she is doing and why she is.
I think she's unable to unmute herself, or there is some network issue on her side.
Mhm.
Miss Brindaji, you can unmute yourself and put your
Yes, ma'am.
clarity.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Uh,
please.
yes, ma'am. Many of them told to reduce the weight. It's a better option for that. So that I am asking.
Okay, okay. To reduce the weight, you want to do the water fasting like this.
Yes, sir. Many of them suggest that. But
Uh-huh.
I have some doubt in that. So that I am asking, sir, whether
Uh-huh.
it is good or not.
Okay, okay, okay. So what I will suggest is, do not go for it is some weekly ones like that. It was suggested
No, sir. Monthly ones.
monthly 1 day with
Yes,
water
sir. Monthly
fasting.
1 day. Yes, sir. The whole day.
Oh, whole day. Okay,
Whole
okay.
day. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so monthly ones is not at all a problem, but
Okay, sir.
basically, if you are willing to reduce your weight, okay. So one important thing about reducing the weight is the key lies here, that your intake and expenditure. Here is the key of reducing the weight. So if your intake is more than your expenditure, this food will be converted into the fat and stored in the body. So the body has a tendency that whatever is excess, it will store for the emergency. It will stored in the form of fat, and this fat the body keeps for the emergency, but that emergency will never come. The person will goes on storing, and he will goes on increasing the weight. So the one thing is, you have to increase your physical activity involved in the sportive activities, etc. And the another thing is this: the person who is bit obese or overweight, they have a very good appetite. So keeping fasting is very difficult for the, especially for the obese person. So we do not recommend for the obese person to go for the fasting. Instead, we regulate their diet. So we like especially we recommend this barley. So barley made food items, chapati, etc., or the dalia, these kind of things. So this barley has the quality that it is a little bit heavy for the digestion, and it will not cause any constipation, and it will not increase your weight compared to the wheat and other rice. The barley is preferred. So you can make some changes in your diet, and if you are comfortable with the fasting, you can do 1 day fasting in a month is not a big issue. But if you are feeling some difficulty with the fasting, you are feeling excessive appetite or hunger uh, by doing this fasting, then better not to do this and have some food little bit modified way. And uh, this way you will reduce your weight at least 1 to 2 kg in a month if you follow a little bit the dietary pattern, and if you involve in some physical activities. So that way you can reduce your weight. And the another important thing, don't plan for any drastic weight reduction. So in a 1 month, if you are reducing 1 to 1.5 kg, like this if you plan, so in the next 5 to 6 months you can reduce 9 to 10 kg. So like this you can gradual weight reduction you can plan.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. There is one more question,
Thank you,
Bhaiya,
ma'am.
on,
Ji?
and Hemdi Reddy ji is asking, is it bad to sleep immediately after eating food?
This is not good to sleep immediately after having food. Actually, we should give at least 2 hours of gap after taking, like in the night, if you can have food before 8 o'clock and you go for sleep at 10 o'clock, this is the best way. But having food at night 10 o'clock and going to bed in just 10:30, 11, like, this is not a healthy way of living.
Ji Bhaiya. There is one hand raised.
Yeah, please.
Itiya Varahaji. You have mic, you can unmute yourself and put your query. Sibi Itiya Varahaji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, madam. Actually, I am having some few doubts. One thing is how to, when we are doing some fasting, how to end up that fasting in a scientific way. Whether we should take any lime water, or whether we should take normal food after fasting. Or whether you have to take any light food or any kind of juices like that. That is one of my question. And second question is,
please,
whether we should go for a 24 hours fasting or a 12 hours fasting. I mean, starting from day morning, early morning to evening, or whether it should start from the evening 6 o'clock to next day 6 o'clock, evening 6 o'clock. So 24 hours fasting, which will be better. Not only for controlling weight, but for the entire well-being of the body. Even to increase the mind capacity also.
Yeah.
So
one thing about the fasting is, as you asked how to break the fasting, so don't go for your normal dietary habits, like the kind of amount of food or the kind of things which you take in your regular meal, that you don't take, because it will not get digested properly and immediately you will feel some digestive or some difficulty. So better to go for what you suggest is the lime water or the fruit juices. In this way you can break your fasting. And when you are going for the food, it is recommended to go for a very easily digestible food like the khichdi or like the upma or some this kind of semi-solid items. Don't go directly with the chapati or with some paneer or this kind of items. And even the vegetables which you are consuming, don't go for the this rajma or the chole, this kind of items. Go for a very especially the this bottle guard or this point guard, this kind of vegetables which are very soft and which are very easily digestible. So these liquid and semi-solid kind of diet you consume after your fasting.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And again, about the how much, whether the 12 hours or whether the 24 hours.
Yeah.
So it also depends upon the person's comfort. Like fasting, in the beginning I told that it not necessarily mean that you completely you be the nil orally, don't take anything, not like that. Actually, we see that uh, the individual need. Like suppose I will, if you have attended the Prakriti session, so in the Prakriti we say the Pitta Prakriti person, he is having very good appetite. So he is not very ideal person to keep fasting for 24 hours. Whereas the person who is of Kapha Prakriti, he can go for the 24 hours fasting without much difficulty. So again, if you are feeling very discomfort, don't go for 24 hours fasting. And mainly when we say that fasting, it is from the morning till evening. So that period, if you are keeping fasting, that will serve the purpose. And if you are going for the 24-hour fasting, please see that you should not feel very weak, should not feel some discomfort. And if you are able to maintain it comfortably, then only you go for that. So like individually, you have to understand this, that I am feeling comfortable with 12 hours fasting, or whether even 24-hour fasting is, I have no any weakness or no discomfort with that. So
thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And sir, one more thing, whether can you suggest some of the some neurobehavioral importance of this fasting? Not only for controlling our degenerative problems, but for general well-being.
Yeah. Like exactly neurobehavioral benefits of the fasting that I have to refer in the the scientific papers, etc., how they have come out with this kind of thing. But one thing which is which is told in the ancient text, and even with some of the scientific papers, that the person who is doing fasting, he will not having this degenerative problems, like the age related changes will be less in that person who is keeping fasting, like the Ekadasi fasting, or maybe because of the religious purpose or any other purpose, or just for the health purpose. And even the person who is consuming little less amount of food than his satisfaction, he is also found to have longer life span, and the age related degenerative changes will be much lesser in that person. But what are the mechanism behind it, and how exactly, that I have to refer, and I can tell you exactly. So like this much only I can tell you at present.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I will explore much further in this way, because I
will go through this, how exactly it is helping the neuro system. So yeah.
Thank you, sir. Okay, very
nice question, sir. Very nice question.
Because I was practicing this both. I mean, earlier I was practicing 24 hours fasting, but as you have rightly pointed out, I was feeling some tiredness, more tiredness after breaking the fasting, after taking normal food. I was feeling very, very tired. So now I stopped that 24 hours fasting and used to prefer that 12 hours fasting. Not always, but sometimes twice. After within 2 weeks, like that.
So that will be really good, and even I will try to know more about this fasting and how it helps the system.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much. This is very interesting also, sir.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For me also. Thanks for bringing this question, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now I will request Ranganath ji to put his question.
Yeah.
Please.
Sir, namaste, sir. Namaste, madam.
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Sir. I have one doubt, sir.
Please.
In these days of the vegetables being grown with chemicals and other way, other than naturally,
Mhm.
I hope getting the true or qualitative vegetables, sir,
Mhm.
take.
Yeah.
Sir. So what to do? Because I always agree what you propose, that is taking vegetables. Our grandparents and grandparents,
Mhm.
ancestor also
Uh-huh.
used to have.
Yeah.
But the quality vegetables are not being grown, sir.
Mhm.
So artificially they are.
Mhm.
That is my doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Can you enlighten me, sir?
Sir. Actually, this is very big question, sir. Even for us also,
Yes.
like when we are recommending to some patient about to take some vegetable, etc., we always have this fear that whether the vegetables is poured with the pesticides, etc., and it will
Yes.
cause the great
Yes.
damage
Yes, sir.
to
Yes,
the
sir.
patient.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so there is no like again, I already pointed out that the people who are living in the urban area, they do not have this possibility to grow their vegetable, or they have very limited possibility.
Yes, sir.
So the only way is you can connect to the farmers who are growing these vegetables.
Yes.
That is the only way where you can ensure that my food is grown properly without use of harmful pesticides, etc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the only way. Otherwise, it is like the kind of food system it has become now. It is
Yes.
very difficult to get the safe raw material for our consumption.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So,
I have one more doubt, sir.
sir.
Would you please permit me to ask, sir?
Yeah, please, sir. Please.
Sir, is it good to take a banana, sir?
Yes, sir.
If a diabetic person taking banana.
Diabetic person. Okay.
Yes, sir. That is all the people they have. They used to ask. Yeah. Some says weekly once any fruit is permitted.
Yeah.
Is not fully diabetic, almost like a cat on the wall. Either this side or that side. That is nearer to the diabetic type 2. Sir, kindly clarify so that.
Actually,
Sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, if our sugar level is not very high, in that state we can consume, like especially if it is within 200.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ideally, it should be 140 to 160, but if it is even within 200,
yes, sir.
Then he can have banana.
Yeah.
Not in excess, but like 1 or 2 banana in a day, it will not cause much difficulty. But if
Yes.
suppose if his blood sugar is high, it is
Yes.
better to avoid banana.
Okay, sir. I will advise him. Sir, I recently got his report that HbA1c,
HbA1c,
yeah, 8% is there.
Then you please say not to take it because it is very high. It is uncontrolled diabetes.
Yeah.
So it's not recommended. He should control his food pattern properly. Otherwise, it will damage the whole system.
Yes, sir. Good.
When his HbA1c is reaching to 6.5 or 6, that time he can have in banana even in limited quantity.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, shall I share my personal experience?
Yeah. Please share.
Yeah.
This is the
The-
platform where you can share all your personal
Thank you.
experiences. Yeah,
Thank
please.
you. Water stored in a copper vessel,
Uh-huh.
and after 12 hours,
Uh-huh.
if I take it, I feel some sort of constipation also because of, I felt, because I'm a biological student,
Mhm.
that copper, as it becomes iron, ferrous oxide or something,
Mhm.
chemical reaction will be there, so
Mhm.
that the constipation,
Mhm.
that is enhancing the levels of iron.
Mhm.
That's why. Is it good, sir? Preserve
See, the copper
water?
vessel, there are several studies which says that the water which is kept in the copper vessel,
Yes, sir.
all the harmful diarrhogenic bacteria,
Yes.
they are destroyed just by keeping it into the copper vessel,
Sir.
and they will destroy in a way that they will not regrow again. They will not grow again.
Yes, true, sir. Yes, sir. I understood.
So actually keeping the water in copper vessel is very safe. But the
Yes, sir.
only thing is we have to maintain the copper vessel.
Yes,
Like
sir.
you will see that the copper vessel, it has some bluish, greenish kind of coating when if you do not wash it properly.
Yes, sir.
So if you are taking the water which is kept in the copper vessel, it is recommended that you should wash it thoroughly
Yes.
every day, and
Yes.
then you keep the water, and
Yes.
it will not cause any problem.
Yes, sir.
Like there are no such studies which say that the water which is kept in copper vessel will become the cause for the constipation. There are no such
Yes.
such kind of studies. So
Yeah.
maybe the constipation is because of some other thing, not because of the water which you are consuming.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I thought that some chemical reaction in the water if you put in that copper vessel. I thought that, sir, it is much better.
Actually there are studies. Even see the excess amount of copper is extremely harmful for our health.
Yes.
So there are studies which have which studied this, the water which is kept in the copper vessel, and they found that if we are keeping the water in the copper vessel, the amount of copper will not increase to the harmful level.
Oh.
So it is very safe for
Yes.
consumption, human consumption, and actually it is even recommended that you keep the water in the copper vessel, but the
Yes,
only thing is you properly maintain it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My family will take care of that cleaning and everything.
Sir.
Okay.
And
Lastly,
please share your experience again.
very. Lastly, I'm happy to share my feeling, my experience. That is, I used to go for fastings every day, one day, sir. That made me very alert. What you great people like you say, Lankanam Paramaushadam.
Yeah. Langanam Paramaushadam. Yes. But the Langana is having several types. Like the Langana is having 10 types. So Langana generally we say as the fasting, but the fasting is only one variety of Langana.
Oh, sir, I don't know, sir. Okay. I take water only, and only in the evening I take chapati or some other thing. I feel very good, sir. Thank you. I pass it on to my students also, sir.
Sir, very nice.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thanks for sharing your experiences, sir.
Yes. Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. One more mic is unmuted, Bhaiya. Lalit.
Hello, namaste. Namaste, Bhaiya.
Ji, namaste.
Namaste. One thing I wanted to add that Ranganath sir was asking, copper
yes.
vessel we need to store water. Or, as I had observed in the chemistry, because I'm a chemistry teacher, professor, like what happens if you store bore water, directly. If carbonate content is present in excess means it can form green colored carbonated copper. So that is harmful for our health.
Yes.
So that's why we should know whether the water is completely treated properly or not. Then we can use the same.
Yes. Thank you, madam. And my family, my wife used to take care of that copper vessel and water.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it good, madam, to keep hot water in the copper vessel?
Hot water means that should be filtered. There should not be like precipitate it forms, no? That should not be there along with that. If that forms means again it may react.
Yes.
With that. We need to remove all the precipitate content from that. Then we can use the same vessel for the storing of that water.
Okay, madam. Thank
But
you.
heart condition also, please don't put, sir.
Yeah, that is.
Storage of cold water, filtered cold water is better to store in copper vessel. As I studied it, I don't know exactly, but I have referred many textbook. It is there like that. So, I said.
But hot water will be kept, and then when it is cooled down, then we put it in the vessel, madam.
Then it is okay.
Yes, that is why, madam.
Okay.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Very nice, sir.
Yeah,
and one more thing is, don't keep it for more than 1 day in copper vessel. Consume it in the same within the day, and then again wash it and keep it the fresh water in that.
Yes, yes.
That is the usual practice which is followed.
So
and one more thing about the consuming water is, when we are boiling the water and cooling it down, again this water should not be kept for more than 1 day.
Sure.
So it is for the same day you consume it, and next day if you want to have warm water, again you boil it and keep the fresh water. And this method please follow.
Yeah, definitely. Does age matter, sir, regarding diabetics, sir? Does age matter, sir?
Age
regarding getting diabetics, becoming diabetics. Age.
You are telling about the age that you are saying?
Age.
Yeah. Actually, like at present now that age has a bit lower down. Now we are finding the diabetic person even at the age of 30 who are becoming type 2 diabetic patient. Previously it was 40-50 years of age. After that the people were getting this, they were diagnosed, but now it has came down. And it is now even the second decades or the third decades of life also we are finding the people they are becoming affected with. It is mainly because of the kind of lifestyle which the new generation has adopted, a sedentary kind of lifestyle. The WHO recommends that an Indian who do not want to suffer from the diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, he should start the preventive measures at the age of 20. So that means from the time of our school age, we have to start the preventive measures. Then only we can prevent ourselves from all these kind of disorders.
Good, sir. Very
diabetes
good.
Or the hypertension or the cardiovascular diseases or the cerebrovascular diseases, because these are now that the diabetes, the India is becoming the diabetic capital. The number one leading cause of the disease in India is the cardiovascular diseases. So the preventive measure should be started at the age of 20 itself.
Yes, that's why I used to tell my students also, be healthy to do anything. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for sharing.
One
more thing about the keeping water in mud pot. This is very good, especially in the summer season. We can keep the water in the mud vessel. It will give a very pleasant smell and taste also.
Yes.
And one more thing is, as per Ayurveda, we should drink plain water, not boiled water. No, the Ayurveda recommends even the boiled water also for consumption.
After cooling it down.
Yeah, actually
yes.
both, even the plain water and even the boiled water, both are there. But the only thing is, when we are consuming the boiled water or the cooked water, we should not, like in a day, just I have taken the boiled water and then again I take the normal water. This kind of pattern is not very good.
Yes.
So if you are following the taking the warm water, it is better to consume warm water for the whole day. If you are habitual of taking cold water, then it is recommended that you continue the same water for the whole day. Don't
Good.
mix these both kind of water.
Yeah, nice, sir. This is the first time listening to this. So usually I take hot water mixing with cool water.
No, that is not. The cooked and uncooked water. See, the boiling is basically the cooked water.
Yes.
And the cold water, you should not again reduce the temperature by adding the cold water. Better you keep it for some time, it will naturally cool down. That way you consume. But don't mix both the water together and take.
Yeah, I do follow. I stop it, sir. Mixing. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. You are great, sir, because after all, health is wealth.
My pleasure, sir. Even I know little and I just try to share whatever I read or whatever I learn.
So yes, sir. You are great, sir. Because I have to make a long journey in the UHV, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Rangnath Bhaiya. Yes. Ji Manora, I think it's time also.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell that there is one message on YouTube, and Sarala ji is thanking Akhilesh Bhaiya for the informative, interesting, and enhanced excellent session.
Thanks.
And I have heard about what Dr. Akhilesh Shukla has told today, and we'll try to practice it. So the time is over, Bhaiya. Now we can take permission from sir and from all.
Thank you so much.
All. We'll meet on next.
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
We can call it a day then and meet you again.
Yes.
Yeah. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.
With us on next Friday. सभी को नमस्ते.
Namaste to all.